And then we're utterly silent. Hello.
Hi, we're waiting. Tell us when we're on.
You're on? No, I
Oh,
don't. When you're on.
Oh,
Tell
hi
me
everyone.
when you're on.
You're muted. You're still muted. No, you're unmuted. You're unmuted. Hello.
Hi. Are we really live?
Yes. Oh, okay. Yes, you're really live.
When she went like this, and then this, and then this, that was to like live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
That's live.
We're really on top of it today.
So professionals.
I thought we were still in our 5-minute window. Anyway, we're not doing this yet. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the minis that we have for this show that we have up in our flash sale section because they're on sale. So 2 of the sets are in Lear. The theme for today is all specialty yarns, so we're really focusing on our specialty yarns.
I'm gonna put them over here
We'll
and
put one over there so I can talk about one.
close up
Please.
thing.
There.
Okay, so this
There you
one is the Lear that I'm putting down, right?
They're 2 Lear.
Oh, there's
That's
2
also
Lear.
Lear.
That's all.
Give, please. Thank you.
It's starting already.
Yeah. So we've been doing these sort of extra fun mini sets. They're not gradients, which most of our mini sets are done in 1 or 2 or 3 pots where we dye across the yarn and then back across again in order to get that gradient effect that be more the same as if you were getting a single cake gradient. These are made up of individual skeins, individual colors. They're not dyed together,
Less of a
but they
gradient,
are
more of a collection.
more of a color collection. I was just getting there. And a lot of them we've had some fun with names, kind of going with the whole COVID theme. So
Because you know what's not fun about a virus?
well, we've tried to keep it light. So
it's dark humor.
no,
It is.
it's making this a positive experience as much as we can.
As much
right?
as we can, absolutely,
Right?
absolutely.
So so this is reopening gambit, and this is phased reopening.
And phased. This colorway.
It's very similar to one of our colorways called Cleopatra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
you've been doing a lot of these recently. These kind of teals going through to some sort of peach or orangey color.
I did a couple of them just
Nice.
because I was in that mood. But then I also did a bunch of these fiery colors, and
Yes.
I did them in a bunch of different bases. So this one's in patos. So this is a sock yarn. This is 75% merino, 25% nylon.
So good
So-
for socks. Wait,
Oh, and what's the name? I don't remember. That one is Summer Blockbusters in My Living Room.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We've watched all the movies. This is like, I hope everyone's caught up on all of their shows. We've watched a ton of stuff. Becca
Yeah.
hadn't seen Pose, and so I've been showing her Pose. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. But talk to me about Lear minis. We
Lear
have
minis.
not done
We
Lear minis.
have not done Lear minis
Yeah.
before. It's something special
Yeah.
we did as part of all of this. Lear is a 55% merino, 45% silk.
Mhm.
And
So luxurious.
so drapey, so wonderful. It's got enough silk to really have that drape, to have that sheen, to have that luxurious feel, but not so much. And paired, oh, I'm sorry, it's not merino, it's BFL.
BFL.
And paired with the BFL to give it memory, so it's not going to just sort of, yeah, it's not going to just kind of spill out and never keep its shape. These look, the
Not to
garments,
cast aspersions on silk. We love silk.
no, I'm about to show our
Mhm.
100% silk. We love it. It is perfect for many
Yes.
things, but if you want something to hold shape, you need some of that springiness of the
A
wool.
little bit of that bouncy,
So,
bouncy.
Yeah.
And by the way, most of you know by now because we say it every time, but BFL is blue faced Leicester. Everyone asked what is. Oh, and then the universal reaction. Oh, I knew that. It's like right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. So, and we like the BFL. It's a really lovely, long staple,
Yeah.
wonderful wool.
Yeah.
A little
BFL is
something
great.
different. A
Yeah.
little something different.
Yep.
All right. any questions from the over there? We've got
Somebody
a.
was calling stuff pretty.
Oh,
Aw,
we like.
you're pretty.
Well, then the next thing to talk about in terms of our specialty yarns, we divide up all of our yarns on the website in 3 categories. One's merino based, and that is all 100% merino except for patos is in there. Because it takes color the same way that the 100% merinos do, and that's kind of why we divide them up, because each section you can pretty much guess that the color is going to end up on any of those yarns looking about the same.
Yeah.
The other sections are yak based yarns, and so yak has a natural brownish color to it, so any dye that we put on there ends up in really rich sort of jewel tones or more muted tones. And then the other is our specialty yarns, and like I said, that's kind of what we're talking a little bit more about today. And that's the Lear, and it's Secamet, which for summer
I love Secamet.
is one of my favorites. It's oh, sorry, there you go.
That's all right.
I thought I had it.
I'll hold it up.
You
talk.
hold it up.
Mhm.
Secamet is a baby alpaca and
Itty-bitty one.
silk and linen, and it
I'm
is
sorry, can you just say that again?
baby
Baby
alpaca,
alpaca.
silk and linen.
Woo!
And it's a 50, 25, 25. And so, you know, we like our yarns to be versatile, so that baby alpaca will be warm
Real
if
versatile.
you make it, if you need to make something for the winter in it.
Yeah.
But but if you make something lacy like this, it is an amazing summer weight. It is a light fingering,
Breathable.
not super light. It's just a 430, I think.
438.
Yeah, 438.
Let me show.
We
I will
have
show
some
you.
lighter stuff.
Can you see that, Joss?
This is a pattern that was created by Rachel Molinar from Remily Knits, and she did it. She had done a collection for us to go with one of our color collections that was
Thriller.
very steampunk themed. It was a steampunk Oz, and so she had done a lot of things with gears and wheels and really cool
Mainspring.
stuff.
I don't know if you've seen that pattern, which is a great pattern.
We
and
showed off
again-
mainspring at another little talk like this recently. Anyway, this was a motif that was in one of the shawls that somebody had really liked. One of our friends had really
So-
liked, and so
this motif right
yeah.
there.
and so Rachel made it into this gorgeous stole. Now, the great thing about this pattern is we did it with just 2 skeins of the Secamet, but if you went up to 3 skeins, you would have enough to do this as, this is a 10-inch version. There's a 12-inch and a 16-inch version. All of them are 70 inches long. So
I mean,
it is
can you-
this
yeah.
long, gorgeous stole.
Can you imagine? Oh my God.
But if you almost double the width on this, it could become this gorgeous wrap.
So luxurious.
It
And I
is-
mean, I wish you could. This is the only problem with the virtuals. You really can't feel it. Like
Yeah.
it's just, it's light, but it's also just got this. It's so soft, of course, because of the baby alpaca.
Yeah.
And then, but the linen, it's got that. You know, I'm sure you saw over here, like the stitch definition is like perfect on it. I mean, it's just.
And then
of
the
course,
silk, of course, gives it that drapey feel that's
Yeah.
so nice.
yeah. Just I mean, oh
so
my gosh.
Secamet, I just love. Of all of our of all of our bases, the dye shows up the sort of the softest on it. And I love the effect that we get. So that's brass, and I have.
Is that brass? Wow, that really is light.
It's super.
yeah, it's so subtle. I love
It's
it.
really lovely. I love it with some of the glazed colors too, because some of the yarns, when you do a glaze, we dye it in successive pots of dye in these intricate knots to get very sort of a mottled effect, kind of like a speckled yarn, but not at all like a speckled yarn.
It's just the process is
It's
different.
just the
and you can
process is
tell. Yeah.
different. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to explain what it looks like, but we'll put it up there for you to see after I'm done. But one of the things I love about it is that when you,
She's not showing you.
oh, sorry,
She wants it all for
it's all
herself.
mine. I'm just sitting here petting the yarn.
We never do that. This is why we went into this business.
Anyway, the because of how this yarn takes up the dye so slowly, it's so sort of subtly. These over dyes like this.
Take it apart so they
yeah,
can really
please.
see it. Yeah.
These over dyes where the color is layered and layered and layered are just so beautiful on the Secamet.
Yeah. It's just gorgeous. It's a really gorgeous effect.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about the technique of how the yarn is dyed is that because of the way the dye strikes the yarn, it's not in regular, because of the way we over dye it, it's not in any kind of regular pattern. So your chances of getting any pooling or flashing are very, very low with this technique. So yeah.
I nod vigorously.
What?
She was asking if it was Fairy Dragon. And
It is Fairy Dragon.
I should
It's
say them
beautiful.
as I hold them up. So
Yes.
this, we were talking about Cleopatra.
Mhm.
Cleopatra was actually first designed on this base.
Oh, that's right.
And so
Yeah.
this is what Cleopatra really looks like.
Yep.
It's what we
Our friend
call,
Stephanie designed the
Yeah.
colorway, right? Yeah.
it's what we call a tipped yarn. So you just get this little pop of the orange and a lot of the teal. If you get the real Cleopatra minis that we have, it's only got a few of the orange skeins and the rest is the gradient
But
of teal.
right, you
Yeah.
get the similarity.
The same
like,
idea.
yeah, it's nice. You know,
Yeah.
I don't even think there was a time when we would have really seen this. It's like kind of like, oh God, that's like that '80s beach theme.
I like
you know.
the 80s beach theme. I am a child of the 80s.
Oh. What am I saying? I can hear the Pat Benatar now. But I mean, yeah, but it's beautiful. Like it's
Yeah.
really, really gorgeous. Here, I'll show you the. I'll put the Cleopatra down. It's just beautiful. And what's one of the things that we've learned is, like if you don't want too much of a good thing, then pull back a little bit,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, as stars, we have control. It's sort of like, well, ooh, too much orange might be too much. So hey, let's not put so much orange on it, and then it just has some nice, some nice character.
And just as a way of explaining,
Oh,
this
so
is
beautiful.
Oceanus on one of the merino bases where it takes the dye really deeply, but also with a little bit more variation. So it's more semi-solid. With the slow uptake on the Secamet, you get a much more even dye and a much lighter dye. So
Can I tell them about strike? Can we do
You can-
like
you can have a
dire
quick-
dire lingo? Okay, so strike real quick.
real
So
quick,
what we
'cause
call a
got things
strike
to do.
is what Becca's talking about. So basically, how fast the yarn hits the dye and
No,
sticks.
the dye hits the yarn.
The dye hits the yarn. Somebody's hitting something. I don't know. Something happens. It's magic. Yeah. So a quick strike means the dye hits the yarn and sticks rapidly, and you don't have a lot of time to mess around with it, right? Yeah, that happens, and it's like, okay, if it's done, it's done. But because of the slow, what we call a slow strike on this yarn, you really have. That's why it's very even, as Becca was saying, because you have your time to really. And we hand dip dye everything,
Yeah.
so. We really take our time with these skeins because we can get such an even dye job on them. You can really see that the quality of this particular yarn dye is
back a
very
little bit.
back this way,
Yeah,
Okay.
right there.
Right in the middle, perfect.
right in the middle. Okay, it's just it's very consistent, and for me personally, part of the beauty of a hand dye is getting some of that subtle variation in
Yeah.
color. Like if I want something to be just
Super even.
no variegation whatsoever, I'll probably buy like a commercial yarn, but it is amazing how little variegation you get with the Secamet.
Yeah.
Strike, that's your word of the day.
Strike. All right. We have a few more colors if you want to just throw them up
So
there.
nice.
These are all Secamet.
This is General Leia Organa Solo, which is one of my favorite names. I'm not gonna cry. And this is Phoenix. I can't get over how different Phoenix looks.
Yeah.
Normally that's so
Phoenix
striking
is,
and bright.
I was going to say, I've got something with Phoenix here. This is a normal Phoenix mini gradient. If you want to see what it kind of the
Right.
difference between how that looks and this looks.
Right. And that's basically, it's the exact same dye. So it's really a
Yeah.
significant difference. The shell is Spitfire, one of my favorites. It's beautiful. So yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit about Spitfire.
Okay.
If you want. We could talk that now if you want. Okay. Spitfire was originally designed to use 2 skeins of our Iacos. And most of our minis are done in Iacos. So at one point, and each mini set is a full skein of yarns worth of yarn. And so at some point, somebody thought, hey, I think it might have been me. Somebody suggested we do it in a mini and gradiate it. Actually, I think it was a customer who did it first. Anyway, and then the back side is just smoke. It's a full skein of
So
contrasting color. And it's just gorgeous. It's just
beautiful.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
So.
And we have another version of this that's in a variegated and
a solid.
And a solid. That's also beautiful. But
yeah,
I mean,
a single skein variegated.
Who doesn't love the like fire, and especially because it's Spitfire and it's the name of a plane. And anyway,
so
I won't go down the World War II planes.
There you go. I'm giving you more to put up there.
All the second mat ever. Okay, we'll show them some more. It all looks like Easter yarn right now.
So, talking about minis a little bit more, we have a couple of patterns that we thought we'd call out. So this is the Field of Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
It's by 10 Hours or Less. And
which is just like all great patterns all the time. It's amazing.
Yeah, we love them. He's finally admitted that most people can't do his patterns in 10 hours or less like he can. And so a lot of them now.
So he's changed the name. It's 10 hours and less, but not for you.
No. It's still, the name is still 10 hours or less, but a couple of them now have notes that say, cannot be done in 10 hours.
Parenthesis, not really 10 hours or less. 10 hours less, but only George.
But this is a crochet pattern. I wanted to make
So
sure that we
cute.
threw something up there for our crochet friends.
Hi, crochet friends.
And this is another one by George, also 10 hours or less.
It's the most femme I'm going to be all month, so
it's all good.
It's even captured on camera.
So this is, you gonna help me? This is the Lace Labyrinth. It's done in
Yarn.
It is done in yarn, but the yarn colorway is called Dark Prism. It's our dark rainbow set. You can see up here, that's our traditional rainbow set. That was the first set of minis we ever did, was that rainbow set. And since then we've done Dark Prism. We have a new kind of bright mid-tone, not mid-tone, what would it be? Brights colors.
Brights, like hots, like neons almost. Not like neons, like painful, but
but like
spicy.
Spicy colors.
Spicy
Anyway,
colors.
we did it again for this new mini sets that we're doing, and it was such a hit that I went ahead and added it to our permanent colorways. So there you go.
There's no way to lay that out that really
you can't. I know
it's so beautiful.
The same. I have that same problem when we're putting it up in the booth.
Yeah.
Because you can't. When you wrap it, you can't see all the colors.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm sorry, you'll just have to I'll just walk back and forth with it. Or just slowly spin around in a circle.
So, another mini pattern that we love. This is by Josh Reese Rabinski.
Easy for you to say.
Who's
just rebranded. Rebel Pup.
Oh, is he Rebel Pup?
Pup now.
I was going to say, I almost gave his other name.
Yeah, no, it's his
Rebel
dead brand. It's dead brand.
So Rebel Pup.
Rebel Pup.
And he designed it
So cute.
in one of these rainbow mini sets, not ours, but we loved Josh and we loved this pattern. And I just, every now and then we have a moment where we're inspired. And my daughter, in fact, had come up with this mini set a couple of years ago. And I just started dyeing it more regularly because people really responded to it. But I thought, what if I paired it with chocolate and made this, well, I didn't make it. I had somebody make it. I have no time for knitting.
And then we made this, but not really.
But not
It's like
really.
10 hours, but not really. We made this, not.
No.
People are like, oh,
Hey,
did you?
how far are you along on your Mormont shawl? Let's
Whatever.
talk.
Oh, this is the shawl that never ends. Jess is like long since done with hers. It's beautiful. I'm just like still knitting.
Yeah. So, any
This is
questions
so
yet, Jess?
cute.
Nope. Just
Okay.
I've just been answering the pattern questions.
Perfect.
So we're
You
good.
can ask any questions
Yeah,
you want.
please ask questions.
some
It
fun
helps us talk about things that you guys really want to hear about.
Listen, can we just talk about blue and brown,
Oh,
by the way?
I know. It's
Right?
like that teal and orange thing. Like all
Yes.
the teal all the time. Oh, let me tell you, as I started doing show colorways for the shows that got canceled and for new shows that are happening online only, I found myself dyeing everything teal. And I
Yeah.
had to like go and find wild children, which is what we call dye jobs that either screwed up or we were
We don't
playing
screw-
around.
Happy little trees. Wait, is that what they call? Oh no, happy little accidents. That's
Happy little clouds. We call them wild children because
Yes.
sometimes you just got to get wild in the studio, right? Anyway, so I actually, for a couple of them, pulled wild children that I remembered how I dyed them so that I could make colorways that weren't teal for our show colorways this year.
You know what? And for years,
So-
everybody gave me a hard time because everything was.
Jess has a
What's the pattern in the close-up cam?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's Josh Rees-Verbinski. Tailwind is the name of the pattern.
Tailwind, which is also awesome. So many like
Yeah.
plain Spitfire, Tailwind. So good.
Field of Flowers.
Field of that doesn't go with the theme unless you crash your plane into a
Field of Flowers. All right, one more pattern, and then I'm going to show off some specialty yarns.
I thought that's what we were doing.
No, right now we're showing off patterns. I'm completely off book right now.
Yeah. I know. Yes, dear.
So this,
It's always a great adventure.
Beat
That's the
this
fun
says
part.
everything is better with chocolate.
That is right. That is right.
That
in
is
fact,
true.
in fact, they sent me chocolate and like
No, they sent me chocolate and I gave it to you.
what? Oh no! The
first
second time it was my
the
chocolate.
second time it was
and a
you.
note.
Yes.
And a note.
Yes.
Yes. So clearly they know.
Okay, so this again is by Rachel Molinar, who goes by Remily Knits in her designs. And it's done in a mini set called Angelica Schuyler. So it goes pink to brown and then back out again. And Oceanus. The most exciting thing about this shawl is the way Rachel designed it. You get 3 motifs. You get this lace at the bottom, you get this lace that's up here at the top, and you get these little lines with the little, they're not noops, but they're like, I guess they're kind of noopy. I don't know.
I'd call them noops.
Are they noops?
That's what I'd call them.
All right,
They're definitely
little
noops.
noops.
You don't have to do. Everyone's like.
Actually, you say that, and I used to, because I didn't know any better. Every time I'd show off a pattern with noops, I'd say, "Noops
You'd
aren't as bad as they
apologize.
are." I would. I'd be like, "Noops aren't that bad." Da, da, da. And everyone would go, "I don't like noops," and I'm like, "My wife says everyone hates noops. I think just my wife hates noops."
No, I did like 3. What is it? Dragonfly shells? Is the dragonfly shell that has all the
I don't
multiple? I don't know. One of them
Anyway.
in bamboo thread. Thank you very much.
You're crazy. Anyway, the best thing about it is you get these 3 kind of motifs, and you kind of get to choose where you want to put them. Do you want more of the lace up at the top? Do you want to intersperse the lace and the stripes? Do you want to do a more simple border? So it's a kind of a choose your own adventure shawl. And
Which you know is going to appeal to me.
right. And there's, there are those knitters out there. There are those knitters who want to just be told what to do. But
We don't judge.
we don't judge. But I think it's really fun to offer something like that and Rachel's patterns are so beautifully written. I have no fear suggesting that to someone and saying, no, you will be able to make it happen wherever you want it to happen, and it will make sense.
It will all be
because-
well, and
yeah,
all manner of things will be
Yeah.
well, even the noops.
even the notes. So let's talk some specialty yarns.
Specialty yarns.
Specialty yarns. So we already talked about Lear, but I grabbed a couple of full skeins of Lear.
Xanadu, speaking of the 80s.
Speaking of the 80s.
Unless you're talking about,
How many
you know,
times did you see the movie?
like 3? I'm sorry, you lived that movie. You are that movie.
No, it was Grease that I saw 14 times that summer.
I've seen Star Wars that many times, but not
Well,
Grease.
yeah, who hasn't?
Oh, all right. Xanadu is a great color.
Here's one more.
Yes.
throw out
Oh,
there.
and these are more Lears.
Yeah, just a few layers to
Perfect
let you see the
piece.
shine.
The
The
beautiful
one
shiny
I
stuff.
didn't have was Luster. And Luster is a DK weight that is 50% silk and 50% merino. And it is so nice. It's so nice. I don't have any on hand right now. I haven't dyed it again in full.
Out of the top of that bin.
Oh yeah, we've got an undyed skein.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was one of the things that I had when the trailer was stolen, and I haven't dyed again to take to shows since. So, yeah. Someday I'll get back to it all. And then we have Chinthe.
Chinthe.
Chinthe is 70% merino, 30% bamboo. Just something fun and different. It was one of these ones that I brought in as a specialty yarn just for a couple of. It is super smushy.
It's like bolong.
It's the closest to Iakos in terms
she's-
of thickness and like the kind of the loft of the yarn itself.
She chonk. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Awesome.
So here's some Lear.
Is
I'm
that
sorry, not Lear. Luster. This is Luster. Say hi, Luster. Hello. Sarai.
Sorry. It's okay?
It's okay.
Sorry.
Um,
We're a lot of fun at parties.
so Luster is
Beautiful.
and
You see this kind of like,
wonderful.
you see how it's like kind of like,
Hang on, I want to talk about Chinthe really quickly.
Oh, yeah,
Chinthe was
Chinthe.
one of these ones I brought in to do a couple of kits, big kits for folks. They wanted us to dye yarn for them to send out with a yarn box or whatever. And I just wanted to do something different. I happened to dye like a dozen skeins and took them to a show and they sold out. So I dyed a few more and took them to another show and they sold.
listen, that's how this business started. I happened to dye a couple of skeins of yarn and people were like, ooh, can I have one? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, let us give you some money. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't remember.
And then like I
this
happened to
Chinthe.
dye a few more and then they bought them and here we are and it's taken over our entire lives. Don't shoot this at home.
So this is Lilele.
No, that's segment.
No, this is Lilele.
What's this segment?
Oh, it says Secament, but it's not.
It's Lele.
It's Lilele. I don't know why it has a Secament on it.
It's
maybe
beautiful.
it is.
Is it segment?
No, this is nope, that's Secament too. Yeah. Anyway, I think it is Lilele. Anyway, Lilele is oh god, it's cashmere and
Oh,
things.
yeah.
And
This is beautiful. You
yeah.
can't, I mean, like I'm like showing it to you, like showing you, like, it's
like
blue.
it makes yeah.
Yeah, you can't. That's one of the ones you really can't see.
Yeah.
The feel of.
Then we just added a sparkle because, can I tell? This year our special collection was supposed to be space. The knitted
Space.
frontier.
Yes.
But we've held off because it's really the sort of thing we do a big display of, and it's we're trying to figure out how we want to do it, if we're going to not have shows at all this year, if we want to make a launch of it. But
Launch. Get it?
oh.
Launch.
Anyway, so
It's been a long summer.
we were talking about it when we were prototyping colorways. One of the staff was like, "You can't have it and not have something with sparkles in it."
Well, and okay, so let's.
Hell is
I'm anti-sparkle.
well, not anti-sparkle, anti-stellina, because stellina pokes out,
Yeah.
and
And listen, for all of you all who've been dying with stellina, I'm not dissing on you.
No,
It's
no.
my particular little thing. Like lots of customers have bought stellina and been perfectly happy
Yeah.
with it. But I was like, I tried it you know, however many, 6 or 7 years ago, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
And then we just didn't
Well,
for
and
years.
I've seen better Stellinas. The yarn we were using
Yes,
at the time
yes,
was
and
not
that's
that
true.
good.
Right.
But
Right.
we just kind of were.
Oh, that's right. We weren't even with our current mill at that
No.
point. Yeah.
Anyway, our current mill has one that's a lurex that is the length of the yarn, so it's a single
Yeah.
strand of silver that goes through the whole yarn, and we just love it. It's
I
just
love it. It's
it's a
beautiful.
little different, and it's a little extra shine, and
It's fun.
it's fun.
It's fun, which is the way it should be, right? And I totally approve of the construction. And it's like, come on, that's like when you're a kid and like your favorite dress is like the one that's like just completely encrusted in
Yeah.
shiny objects. You know, like that's it. Right
That's
there.
it.
Kind. Just,
Yeah.
Okay.
The last one I have here is
Best for last.
is Padma. Padma is 100% mulberry silk.
Yes, and she is
She is
amazing.
she is all drape. She is no give.
Yep.
She is beautiful.
All softness, no yield.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's-
She's my kind of girl.
She is beautiful scarves.
Yes,
She is
yes.
yeah. She's
Oh,
just
she is just.
she is luxurious. We call her emotional support yarn. We always say if you don't like to fly, you should have a skein of Padma with you to pet while you get on and off the ground,
Yep.
or off and on the ground. Anyway, so
Yeah.
that's kind of
So,
all.
do we have any questions or anything?
no questions, but people think you guys should do a podcast.
Every time we do this, we get that.
They think we're funny.
Oh, what's the base with the lurex? What are we calling that?
Oh,
Is
that base is called Zariah.
Zariah.
Zariah. Oh, that's right. I forgot.
All
about
of our
that.
base names, for the most part, have something to do with a goddess
Usually goddesses, yeah.
or mythology of some sort.
Some
But
protector, like
always from
Chinte is from Chinte lions, which
Yeah.
are, you know,
the protector
protector
figures at
of temples.
temples. Yeah.
Easter and Vanir are races.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're mythological races for Aesir and Vanir. But they're also always places that Kel and I have lived.
Or
'Cause-
our heritage.
Or our heritage. That's right. So all the Greek and all the what do we call it? East Asian and Pacific Islands and African, and Kel and I grew up a lot of different places between the two of us, and so
So this is, yeah, it's thinking like, you know, home, not home.
yeah,
So, yeah.
just like that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah.
Stay safe. Stay well, everybody.
Yep.
Stay home. Keep your masks on.
Do some knitting.
Yeah.
Crochet.
Crochet.